Hey, what's going on? This is another episode. I wanted to basically talk about what if you're trying to go ahead and get yourself set up for success in this particular pandemic. But going on 7 months now, where everybody's basically in the house and not able to go ahead and do the things we want to do or we used to do. I mean, right now I'm probably on vacation, usually about this time, or getting ready to go on vacation, and I've been using the time to go ahead and prepare for what it would be like when everything's changed. For example, I want to go ahead and start my own business. So I've been spending a lot of time studying different projects online that help me to learn about entrepreneurship, running your own business. I've also been spending a lot of time learning about the what do we call the climate for how businesses are being run right now and what we should expect in the future. So planning your life ahead of time is probably something good to do. And if you're trying to figure out how to do it on your own, one of the best things to actually do is probably focus on even going back to school. So if you're not necessarily, if you're already out of school, that's one thing. But this video is going to be like targeting people who probably have never been to school before, and you want to go to school, but you haven't been able to, I guess, get around to it. Maybe you're scared because you've been out of school so long and you don't necessarily know what to do because of the fact that, you're going to have to go through all the things that you should have went through, and it's probably going to hurt so much. And not starting is probably the best thing. Well, here's a secret, is that there's going to be a lot of people going back to school and doing things differently, learning different things, trying new things. And this time you can use this particular atmosphere of the pandemic or the lockdown to learn how to go ahead and build a new you, to reinvent yourself. And reinventing yourself is something I think that you should always do. You don't want to be categorized by the things you do on your 9 to 5 or your 11 to 7 or your overnight. You want to basically focus on doing some of the things that allows you to be, more of the person that you always strive to be. For me, I actually went ahead. I was actually working as a director aide and as a developmental disability agency, and I did that while I was going to school. And after I graduated, I noticed that it was really hard to try to get work in the technology sector without actually having some experience. So going back to school was something I did. So I actually did my overnight. I was working 3 to 11, and from 3 to 11 I went to work. And I came back home. I would either relax for an hour or two, and then I would go to sleep because I had to wake up to go take classes in the morning. And I just kept doing this. I was actually preparing to do nursing because of the fact that the company I was working for was offering people free credits. But then I decided to go ahead and move into the programming part because I already had so much background with it, my previous degree, and you didn't need to actually have, a degree in computer science. Right now you still don't need one. But if you wanted to go ahead and get a job in these particular fields, I think that one of the things that really helped me was actually trying, just doing it, and being around people who also was looking to change their lives motivated me even more. And this whole being at home thing is only going to be great if you're actually around people who are trying to build a life for themselves, if they're actually trying to build a world for themselves, and you're going to have to really motivate yourself that way. They're going to I feel like what's going on is that you're going to get everything you need to stay in the house. They're going to pay for you to do that, but they're not going to give you any direction to where you should go to improve yourself. So I definitely think that, if you're, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even in your 60s, there are still things that you can basically do to provide value. One of the reasons why I say to provide value without talking about making money, because value comes first. Once the product that you're doing or the services that you're putting out actually has value, then you can start using that space to probably sell something for money, or maybe you could sell your time. For instance, you can go on YouTube and talk about something that you're an expert in. It doesn't have to be Olympic gold medal, expert. but you just be something where there's enough people below you who haven't gotten there who wants to talk to you, and just being able to talk to them will help you open up new opportunities to create new content for those next things. So those are some of the things I try to tell people to go ahead and do. And I also think that if you're, still in the mindset of like being in school, you can test yourself. There's you can actually go online and you can prepare to take the SAT, for example, or the GRE, and you just take the tests. Step by step, you take it until you get it done, as much time as it basically takes for you. Then you can use the questions. You go over the questions, you check your answers. The ones that you got wrong, you make a list of all the ones you got wrong, their type of questions they are, and then you can go over them, step by step, looking online for ways to improve in those sections. So if you're you need to brush up on your English because you didn't do the written part pretty well, you can start writing essays, or you can start a blog talking about that you're trying to get better at these things. The internet I think it's designed to help you find the things that you're actually looking for, but you really have to be even motivated to do those things. This whole entire pandemic is probably going to go on for at least another year. I don't see it changing anytime soon, and I'm really happy that I can use the time that I actually used to use to commute to exercise in the morning and to go to work. And to go and work on my business as well, in between of like working, because like when you work, I feel like that big block of time you usually don't do anything else but work, but you should find time to do it. Like if you have a lunch break or you get a little break, you should always listen to something, write things down. So when it's time for you to actually sit down and spend 2-3 hours on it, you can do that. And don't look at the big picture, look at the picture from a standpoint that's actually doable. It's much more possible to go from not going back to school to actually applying to school, not going back to school to actually studying for reading up on the things you're looking to go to school for, not going to school to listing those things that you want to talk about and finding the teachers or the people that are interested in those things to talk about those things, starting a blog or even starting a LinkedIn page that talks, and then everything in your LinkedIn page is the things you aspire to actually do. These things is great because you're like calling it into the ether what you actually want. And that's what you want to be able to do when it comes down to building yourself and working on your different ideas that you want, because I don't see any other way that it could actually work for you. You have to be the one that's pushing for it. And people around you want to help too. I'm pretty sure that there are people who want to help, but they probably are only willing to go so far to help. So I think that asking for help is something that we have to learn how to do too. I had to do it as well, asking for help and for opinions and asking for people's their perspectives. And also reading. You need to read, a lot of different books about people who have done the things you want to do, and people who have been in a situation that you've been into. You want to listen to podcasts, and you just have to motivate yourself that way. You can't look for somebody to just come out and just help you, pave the whole entire way and protect you financially, mentally, physically, everything. You can't have that. You really have to find a way to just step outside and get yourself burned too, because the life that we actually have in front of us is actually been created by us. Everything is our fault for what we actually have done. We've actually had plenty of time to actually change the things in our lives, but we haven't been able to spend time to actually do those things because of the fact that, well, we always think we have so much time, and we don't necessarily know how much time we actually have. So I definitely think that we should spend more time trying to plan out the different things you want to do, and then you can get a feeling of how much time you actually have to complete the things that you're looking for. It's summertime right now. We're in July 14th. So, it's pretty difficult right now to see, you already have like half the summer down, but if you have enough of the summer taken care of, you can go ahead and when you basically have enough of your life taken care of, you can use the you can use the time that you actually have, the free time, to create an obstacle course that is catered to you to get things done. So that way you're not paying too much attention to the things that's going on around you. You know, somebody else is doing something faster. You don't pay attention to that. You actually ask them what did they do to get to where they go, and focus on the book that they read, or the person they're mentoring, or how much money they actually spent, and see if you can figure out some way of doing it around your budget. So, I mean, this is just some of the things I kind of like brought up, and it just hit my head, and I wanted to just spit it out right now. So that's the end of that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.